Hey everybody, Mrs. K here with another review. So this week we're talking about the element of art, value. And value isn't how much an artwork costs, though that could be it too, but not today. We're talking about the lights and the darks of different colors. So the color that we're using is just gray because it's just our pencil here. And we're going to be talking about how to add value onto a 3D object. For instance, a cube. Okay? The first thing that we're going to do is learn how to draw our cube, and then we're going to learn how to do a value scale and then apply those colors up to our cube. Okay? So stick with me. So how do we draw a 3D cube? Well, we start out by drawing a square. Make sure it's even. Oops. That's why I'm using a pencil, not a Sharpie. Okay, so I have my square here. And I'll go over it in Sharpie just so you can see it a little bit better after. So I have my square. Here. Okay, you can see it. So then what do? So on this, and this point here, I'll circle them so you can remember. We're going to draw diagonal lines. Diagonal lines go at an angle, and it's almost like they go up into the corner. So I'm going to draw this one first. These ones are all going to be about the same length. So if you measure it with your fingers, it should be about the same. It should be about the same, and they all go in the same direction. Now we have two straight lines to do. One's a horizontal line. That means it goes this way. The other is a vertical line. That means it goes this way. I'm going to connect this dot to this dot here. That's my horizontal. And my vertical goes straight down and connects this dot to this dot. So now I have a 3D cube. We can make it look more impressive by adding value. But value has to do with a value scale. So let's draw a value scale really quick. Just going to draw a rectangle. And I'm going to slice up my rectangle into, let's say, 5 different parts. Let's do 4. Make it easy on ourselves. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of these is going to be a different color, gray, because my pencil is gray. This one is going to stay white, because this is the lightest color. So I'm going to write light over here. And this one over here is going to be dark. And these are all the colors in between. Going to go darkest, dark, kind of medium, and then we're going to leave it white for light. All right, so I like to start by coloring lightly first with my pencil because you can always make it darker, but it's kind of hard to make it lighter. So if this is going to stay white, this is just going to be a little bit like a super light gray. I'm not pressing hard with my pencil. And you can tell I'm kind of holding it like the middle of my pencil. You can even hold it closer to the eraser. And that lets you press less hard on it. So you kind of can't draw it super dark. So we can see here I have my white. I have a very light colored gray. The next one is going to be this color, but kind of bumped up a little bit darker. I can scooch up my fingers a little bit more if I'd like. So I have a little bit more control of the pencil. And I'm just going to press a little bit harder. Not super dark. I'm not trying to color it black. Just a little darker. And I can go over it a couple of times. The more that I go over it, the more that I color over it, and the closer my lines are together, the darker it becomes. So you can tell that this one is like the lightest here. It goes very light, kind of like a medium, and then let's make this one dark. So my lines are going to be super close together. I'm going to scrunch up my fingers on the pencil a little bit more. All my lines are going to be close together, so I don't leave any gaps, any little white space that can make it look lighter. And I'm pressing kind of hard with my pencil. I could press really hard and make it like super black if I wanted to, but you get the idea, and I don't really have to here. So it goes from dark to light, or from light to dark. So this is called a value scale. Let's use these colors to add value to our cube. So if the sun is over here, or like a lamp or something, and our light is coming this direction, this thing here is closest to the light. And so it's going to be the lightest color. We're not going to just leave it white because we want to color it in, but I'm going to color it this one because it is the second lightest. Or you could say like the lightest that we've colored on our paper. All right, so I colored it very lightly, and this area here is called the highlight. It's kind of the lightest point in my drawing. Highlight. All right, this one here is the second closest to the light, so it's going to be the second lightest. It's going to be this color here. Making sure I'm getting rid of any of those little areas, those little white gaps. I kind of colored everything, and now I'm going to go back and kind of color these in. But I'm just trying to make it blend together. I don't want it to look different. All the same color gray. All right, and this area here is called my midtone. It's like the medium color. Mid-tone. Okay, so what about this area here? Well, it's the furthest away from the light, and so it has to be a shadow. This one here. Okay, and this area, like we said, is called a shadow because it's in the dark, it's so far away from the light. Now, we could be done, but to make it look really real, we should add a shadow that's on the ground. If the light's over here, then this object gets in the way of the light, and then it leaves a shadow on the ground. So, right next to the object, I'm going to color super, super dark. And if I wanted to, I could like make an extra box and color super, super dark. Or I could have left this white and moved everything over a little bit, but that doesn't matter as much. Now my shadow, it's like Peter Pan's shadow on his foot. It's attached to him, okay? Oh, well, I guess Peter Pan's shadow isn't attached to him, except for a little bit. You get my drift. The shadow belongs to this object. So it has to be attached to the object. It's going to create not the same image on the ground always, but kind of like a boxy shape. We're going to say it's going to end up something like that. It's super dark where it comes next to the object because the object is so far in the way. And then it starts to lighten up a little bit, actually. So I color really, really hard where it's super close to the object. And then I start to lighten up my hold on my pencil. I start to color a little bit lighter and lighter and lighter and let the pressure off. So I'm pressing really, 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 really hard. And this one doesn't have to stay like in the lines. And then I slowly stop pressing super hard. Let a little bit more light get to the object until it's done. And that makes it look a little bit more realistic. Okay, so there we have our 3D form. It is a cube with value. And we used our value scale to help us do it. All right, guys, I hope you had fun with this lesson. We'll see you next time.